Hey, Mystic Michaela spiritual family. Welcome to Know Your Aura with Mystic Michaela. So what is my favorite thing to do? It is to read pictures. I love psychically reading pictures. And I thought, what a great episode to teach you how to do the same thing. I'm going to be doing it within the context of online dating. And even if you don't online date, these are very specific tips and tricks that I talk about for posting the right pictures and reading people's pictures that you could even use for anything, for business, who you want to work with, LinkedIn, places you might want to work at. So let's get into that. But first, hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys. I feel like my picture reading game has really gone up.
Well, we're going to put you to the test.
You're putting me to the test.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I was thinking before because this is a dating episode, right? It has to do with dating. We do play a game on this podcast. We're going to play a couple games today, right?
Yeah.
We do play a game called Jumanji. Okay, so I am officially the creator of Strip Podcast. I came up with it one night, and I am the founder.
I mean, you are called a genius for this.
Yes. So in some circles, I am called a genius. Yes. Anyway, the reason why I came up with it was because we have basically probably still do around I think it's a little less now, but 95% of our listeners are female. So in my brain, I was like, hey, I'll come up with a way to get more male listeners.
Right.
Okay. Get some significant others, boyfriends, whatever, friends, whatever. And
we're not asking questions.
Yeah, not asking what, right. And I felt if we came up with, we needed a hook, and that was called Jumanji. So basically any time that I would say Jumanji or you'd say Jumanji, you have to remove an article of clothing, and thus maybe, the significant other would be more interested in the podcast.
So you're saying as KYA listeners are listening to the podcast, they just disrobe, and then people around them are like, hey, what are you listening to? That sounds great.
No.
That's how it works?
No. Well, it could work that way. I mean, 47% of our listeners already do listen in the bath or shower. But I was thinking more you're on your fifth date with a guy or a significant other, and you're like, hey, let's listen to this podcast.
Uh-huh.
And maybe he's a red, okay? And he's like, no, I'm not listening to that. Because no red's going to listen to KYA.
Okay.
Except for me. And then you're like, well, there's a game. It's called Jumanji. Anytime you hear that,
That would get you to listen, you're saying.
I'm saying it might get, not someone like me, but someone else.
I think you just revealed so much of yourself to us all.
I probably did. But anyway.
Yes.
So some of the newer listeners might not know what the game is. But anyway, for just this one episode, and only this episode, we are going to change the word. So usually it's Jumanji, and then you take off a sock. But today, it's a two-word thing. It's Paul Anka. So if you hear the name Paul Anka, then you play our game.
All right, we're just going to roll with that.
Yeah, just roll with that.
So I invented a game.
Okay.
Because I invented a game today to kind of prep us for what I'm about to talk about way more in depth. So the game today, the big thing with energy reading is there's a difference between cold reading and energy reading when you look at a photo. And I'm going to talk about that way more in depth moving forward. But I thought, what a great time to incorporate some very hot topic pop culture moments that people keep asking me to talk about, but let's do it in this context. So I'm going to give you, now, if you're new to this podcast, you have to just understand Scott truly lives under a rock and has zero idea who anyone celebrity-wise that you think, who doesn't know who that is? Scott doesn't know who that is. He doesn't.
Okay, yeah, and I probably, I've been thinking about this. I'm probably good in those trials. Where they need a juror where nobody knows.
Yeah, you're always wondering, who doesn't know that this happened?
Right.
The Elizabeth Holmes case.
Yeah.
I was like, who doesn't know that story? They made a movie about it and 2 different documentaries. That would be you.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's Scott. And so I have a couple pictures and I'm sending them to him one at a time. And so how it's going to play is we're just going to let Scott read it, which is honestly probably going to be a cold read. And then I'll tell you who he was just looking at. And then I'll go into the energy read.
Okay. Do you want me? So you're going to give me a picture.
Yeah.
Should I describe the person that I see?
Yeah, just be honest.
Okay.
Be you.
I'm actually thinking that I'm going to know some of these people.
Oh,
That's what I think.
All right, so here's the first picture.
Okay, so send me the first one.
And by the way, we're texting each other these photos across the table from each other, and I just sent you the first one. There it is. Open it up.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So what do you see? What do you see?
So we got a guy. He's got this kind of smoldering look.
Uh-huh.
He's got very good hair. He's got dark hair.
Okay. Well, give me some cold read. Don't just.
Well, first I just want to kind of describe him, and then I'll give you the cold read on him.
Okay.
And he's unshaven. Mm-hmm. He's got a 5 o'clock, a little bit more than a 5 o'clock shadow, and then he's got a white T-shirt on that says, looks like the word free, maybe free, in purple. All right, so I'm going to say that this guy, and this is my psychic interpretation, by the way.
Okay.
This is all my intuition, not cold reading. I say he's like a model. He has wealth. He's wealthy.
Okay.
He's good hygiene.
Okay.
Women like him. He seems like the kind of guy that women would like. Although to me, he seems like he could be a little, not so nice. He's got an edge to him.
Do you trust him?
Do I trust him?
Mm-hmm.
No. If I was online dating, I would. Was it swipe right? Swipe left?
I don't know which way it is.
Whatever way you swipe to get rid of him. Although he's an attractive man, I would probably say he's probably a guy you want to stay away from because I don't know. He could be a little creepy.
So you don't trust him?
No, I don't trust him.
You think he's shady?
He could. I don't.
Do you think he has good intentions?
Do I think he's got good intentions? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
what's your overall impression of him?
My overall. I have no idea.
This is really good.
I have no idea who this person is. My overall impression of him is like he'd be like the one. If you're gonna have to do a one night stand and get out of there, just don't go with this guy.
Okay.
He's not. You wouldn't want to marry this guy because we're talking about online dating.
That's funny.
Don't marry this guy.
Well, guess who that is?
Who is this guy?
That is Sam Asghari. That's Britney Spears' husband.
Oh, that's okay.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
And he is, I think he's 28. Brittany's she's my age. She's 41.
Okay.
All right. And he is a model. He's an Iranian model.
Wow.
Good job.
All right. I got that.
Yeah. So very good.
Okay.
And everyone's always questioning his intentions.
Okay.
Okay. That's the thing with him. Nobody knows. Is he good? Is he not good?
Yeah.
Is he good for her? What's happening? What's going on with them? I would say that's a really big question that he seems very much in her corner online, but people just worry about her, so they worry about him or whatever. Okay, so this is my energy read on Sam here. Yeah, he's got a lot of purple in his aura, and he's blue too. And this is what I mean. When I look at him, this is more of energy read. He feels like a little kid to me in a lot of ways, who feels like his mother probably loves him a lot. That's kind of what I get. And I feel like he understands Brittany, and I feel like he wants to take care of her, and I feel like he can be a go-between for Brittany between kind of the stuff she doesn't want to hear, and he's the way in which she can hear it. Because I do feel like she needs help at different times, and he's the one that can kind of all right, let's compromise Brittany. Because I feel like dealing with Brittany, God bless her, I think she's going through a lot. It can be difficult. And so I feel like he can give her information in a digestible way. What does he get from this? I mean, I feel like he gets a nice life. And I do feel like they probably are okay together, but it can be difficult. So sometimes I think as a culture or society, we're like, is he bad or is he good? You know what I mean? I feel like he just is. He's there and he's not horrific and he's not amazing either. And I feel like he's got something, he gets a lot out of this too. Yeah. He gets his lifestyle and a lot of opportunities. And he gets to live a certain way, obviously. But I do feel like he does a job as well.
And that's funny because I actually really was going to say something like he might be looking for an older type woman.
That's interesting.
I was going to say that. He's got that look where, and then he can, with wealth,
well, that's what happened.
Yeah. And I know I'm saying that after you've said who he is, but it's kind of like the look he has. I don't know.
Yeah, he seems like he's pleasant and kind of malleable, but also he'll do what he wants to do as well.
All right.
He feels like a kid to me. He feels like a teenager. That's what he kind of feels like to me. A nice one though.
All right.
So, I don't know. Everyone's always like, is he evil? Is he good? I'm like, I don't think he's whatever. He's fine. I mean, for what she's at and what she's going through, I think this. I don't know. I think it works.
All right. He's definitely not Paul.
Everyone's like, is he going to take all her money and screw her over? I don't think so. I think, like that. All right. Here's the next one.
All right. Send me the next one.
All right. So I sent you this guy. With the curly blonde hair.
Curly blonde hair. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. This guy looks familiar.
Okay.
I've seen this guy, I know he's got a show or something. I've never watched the show.
Okay.
This one, I will admit, I've seen this man before.
Do you know what the show's about? Or
yeah,
no?
it's like him, and he's a Mormon or something.
All right, I'll just say it. He's Cody Brown.
Okay, but let me...
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so... All right, so he's got this... Yeah, I don't know. He's like is he a surfer? Like surfer gone Mormon? What is he? Surfer gone Mormon.
I don't know. He's a surfer.
He's not a surfer?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Okay,
he looks like a surfer, sure.
I mean, he looks a little angry here in this picture. He's got this like goatee and...
Do you trust him?
No. No, I trust him far less than the first guy you sent me.
Okay.
Sam.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
He's worse than Britney Spears' husband.
If I'm dating one of the two of them, and I have to pick one, I'm dating Britney Spears' husband
Got it.
over this guy.
All right.
He looks like he's got like he seems like he's like calculating though.
Oh,
Like he's
that's interesting. That's interesting.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, because the hair and the look is like really...
Well, put your like hands over. Sometimes I do this. I'll put my hands over someone's hair, and I just look at their eyes. Sometimes I'll do that when I read a picture.
Okay. Is he yellow purple?
Well, just like, all right, so what do you think about his character? Is he honest?
Is he honest? No.
Does he believe himself?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yes, he definitely believes himself.
Like, if you could think of another person to relate him to.
I could see this guy, like, going on, like, a rant days long about how right he is about the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, okay.
All that.
All right.
Good job.
All right, so what's this guy's
he's
deal?
Cody Brown. He's got 3 wives. Well, I think he's 4 wives, but a couple left. All right, so it's that show Sister Wives.
Okay.
And listen, I watched it when the show was new and everyone was getting along and saying this is like the greatest way to live. And I think like a lot of people, we were all like, there's something not right with him. Well, they came back and he's absolutely psycho. Like now it's like all of a sudden, like all the stuff I think we were all feeling when we watched the first, seasons of that show is all obvious now. The guy went off the deep end. He's chameleon green to me. Okay. So he changes and he switches and I am not a doctor and I don't diagnose people, but this guy's got like major narcissist vibes. And, what's interesting? I can't watch the show. Like it is so hard for me to watch a show because he's so triggering to me personally. Like I get very upset when I watch it because the way that he approves of you or not is how much you believe what he's saying or go into, that's how he did. And like, it's like the people around him, his family members aren't people. They're just like extensions of him. And he does rant all the time. So this guy, like he's got cult leader vibes in a way too. Yeah. He just feels extremely, like you said, angry and he just keeps talking and he doesn't stop talking and he creates, what I saw that he does. And this is something that if you ever dealt with a narcissist, this is something to keep in mind. And maybe there's a word for it or somebody's already said this about narcissists before. It's something I've noticed in my own life about narcissists. It's something that's really easy to pick up about Cody with narcissism. His big thing is he's mad at the wives for not taking the way that he wanted to handle the COVID protocol seriously. But apparently the way that he did COVID protocol was like really, really strict or something. And even beyond the CDC, like he was very anxious about it. And so he felt like when some of his wives and kids were going against it, they were like dissenting against him. And so he used that as an excuse to separate him from them and almost shut them out and remove his love from them. But he was using COVID protocol as the excuse. Now, this is what I see narcissists do. They will use some sort of overall society blanket kind of statement or thought as a way to make them feel more right. Am I explaining that right? Yeah. Like you could say like, I see them like the way somebody parents, like, well, we don't let our children do this. And then it becomes not, so you become right because you're using society as kind of like your extra, I don't know if I'm explaining this right.
No, I
kind of push or whatever. Anyways, he bothers me. But he's chameleon green, so you can't trust a person like that.
That's interesting too, because like chameleon green, like you said, is like they change and everything, right?
They change. They're not even green. They just change. I call it chameleon green because it's like, what are you?
And that's
like
actually, and that's what I think I was picking up, because like I don't know if this guy is like a lumberjack dude or a surfer guy. Maybe that's what I'm picking up.
So that's interesting. Yeah. Like when you're reading pictures, like if you can't put a finger on somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be like, this is a guy that likes to surf and then go skis in Lake Tahoe or something. I don't, it's like weird. Right. Like he's got it all.
So even when you're cold reading a picture with somebody, if you ask yourself a lot more questions, that can kind of bring you to the energy part of it.
Okay.
So I think that's interesting. All right. I got another one for you.
All right.
This is a hot one. All right.
Okay.
This is two pictures.
Okay.
It's this woman. One's her eyes, but one is the recent picture, but she's wearing sunglasses, but I just had to give it to you.
Okay. So here I got this picture of a woman. She's got sunglasses on, dark hair. I have no idea who she is. It says empath or empathy. I can't tell.
Right. On her sweatshirt.
On her sweatshirt. She's got like skin tight leggings. Are those leggings?
Yeah.
Leggings. And then she's got like
leggings.
Leggings. And then she's got like slippers with like pearls on them.
Okay.
And then I think, then there's another picture of her, again, like just in her ball gown or something. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I don't know who this person. I have no idea. This is the one I wouldn't even be able to guess.
What do you think about her?
All right. Well, I mean, the outfit itself. I don't know how you go out in an outfit like that. It's probably like $100,000 outfit.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I don't know. I'd say a purple red. I mean, she doesn't give me an empath vibe. She's coming down the street looking real kind of like tough.
Yeah.
But yet she's wearing this empathy shirt.
Right. So you think like
she'd be like the last person I'd come.
So you're picking up hypocrisy.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Say she's like, if you're an empath, then I'm an empath.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't even know how bad you just threw yourself under the bus.
Yeah,
okay, keep going.
Yeah, I just did.
You don't even know.
Yeah, because I'm not coming up to if this lady's walking down the street, I'm walking the other way.
Okay, so do you believe anything she has to say?
Nothing. No.
Now rank her trustability factor against Cody and Sam.
Well, it is a dating show, so a dating episode. So right now, number 1, I'm dating Britney Spears' husband.
Okay, Sam's number 1.
Number 2 is this lady.
Okay.
Number 3 is that other guy.
All right, so you're saying she's still better than Cody.
Yeah, she's better than Cody.
Okay,
she's better than Cody.
All right.
But worse than Britney Spears' husband.
Do you feel like she's nice or mean, or like what do you think about her?
I'm saying I don't want to. If it was me, I'm steering clear.
Where do you think she's from? Where would you say what kind of geographical vibe do you get on her?
Okay. I mean, the picture, she's walking like she's in New York City or something. I don't know.
But like in life.
Where would she be from?
Yeah.
I would say like a major, like LA or New York.
Okay.
Like a big city. She's a big city. I go to Paris on the weekends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Am I close?
So this is Eladia.
Eladia?
Eladia Baldwin.
Who's that?
That's Alec Baldwin's wife.
Oh.
Now you don't know anything about this. His name.
No, I don't know.
She was born.
I didn't even know he was married.
Here's the deal. She was born Hillary Thomas. Okay.
Okay.
And I think she's just from like Boston. Yeah, she's from Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And her parents are from America too, but she changed her name to Eladia, and was putting like that she was from Spain on all her stuff. And then the big thing that happened was like a couple of years ago, she got busted because she was doing, she has like all these businesses, like a yoga business and kind of like, I don't know, all these different things. I think she was like doing something. And if I get any of this wrong, you guys, it's because it's off the top of my head. Okay. I don't have time to like TikTok rabbit hole this, but I'm just telling you what I get. I think on like a Today Show segment or something, she was like, oh, what is the word for? And like she pretended to forget the English word for cucumber. And she said it's because she's Spanish. Okay. And sometimes she forgets English words. Huh. Okay. And so, whatever. She marries Alec Baldwin. They have like 7 million kids. They got I think they have like 7 or 8 kids or something like that. And she slips into Spanish accents sometimes. Okay. And what happened was in that empathy sweatshirt, the paparazzi cornered her because everything going on with Alec Baldwin. And they were like, and you can look it up this online, and probably everybody listening already did, but it would be hysterical to show you. She all of a sudden slips into this like accent. And she's like, you guys leave me alone. I can't even do a good Spanish accent, but she's like, children, they're like, mommy, mommy. Like she went straight up into a Spanish accent. Now she's from Boston. Okay. She grew up in there her entire life.
All right.
Her dad like majored in his undergrad in like Spanish literature. Well, so did I, and my kids don't have a Spanish accent. Okay. Her parents did she says that she was busted, and she said like her dad like would go to Spain sometimes as a kid, and so she considers herself multicultural. Her parents do live in Spain now, I guess, but nobody's Spanish, and she wasn't raised Spanish.
Okay.
All right. So she's got, and so she's been a lot of allegations of cultural appropriation, impersonating a Spanish person. It's just funny, I think.
I'm going to be honest. Why does anyone care?
Because it's like her commitment to it is so solid. Like even in everything going on with her husband, like when the paparazzi corner her like that, and she didn't have to talk to them, but she did in her like empathy sweatshirt. Anyways, what I think is really what's going on with her. So yes, I see purple and red on her myself. And I think what's up with her is like, I hate when people just can't admit the hustle. Like you started off, you wanted to be interesting. You wanted to stand out so you could have your businesses or be picked out of a crowd or, stand out as a model or whatever it is you wanted to do. Just flip and admit it. Just be like, you know what? Because she put Mallorca as where she's from. So just say like, you know what? I said I was Mallorcan because, I don't know, it gave me the edge in this crazy saturated industry. But instead, she's like doubling down and saying that she accidentally goes into her accent when she's upset. Things like that. So I think what happened is people pick up on the hypocrisy and then they focus on an action instead of being like, just be upfront with us. Like, don't lie to us. I think when people are more honest about it, like, Liv was my hustle. It's how I got through. People are like, okay, fine. We'll leave you alone. So it's just really, it's all over the internet right now, that interview. And that's why I wanted you to see it.
And I feel that that's not the shirt for her. Okay.
All right, last one.
All right, okay.
Here you go. He's a guy in a baseball cap.
Okay. It's not Paul Anka.
Okay.
It is a dating episode. Okay. Here we go. This guy. Oh boy. Okay. So, all right, let me see here. He's got a weird baseball cap on. He got a beard. He's got maybe a really ugly denim shirt underneath a like one of those puffy jackets.
Okay.
He doesn't seem happy. I have no idea. First of all, I have no idea who this person is. I've never seen them before. Does he work? Where does he work? No, not a construction worker.
What kind of job do you think he does?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. The hat. I'm thinking of the hat. I'm not trying to cold read.
This is a hard one.
This is my psychic ability.
This is a hard one. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not an act. Maybe he's an actor. I don't know.
All right. Well, what do you think about him? Do you trust him? I always like to start with that. Do you trust this guy?
No.
You don't trust anybody.
I don't know if you pick people that are just untrustworthy.
I don't know.
Where am I putting him though?
Do you want to hang out with him?
Well, I'd want to hang out with him more than the Mormon guy, who's a surfer guy, more than empathy lady, more than. He might be. Yeah, he might be the number one. If I had to pick one of these four.
Oh, really?
I don't know. No, you're saying
no,
that.
I'm sorry. Okay.
He's in the bottom half. If I'm dating somebody, he's in the bottom half.
So you would have picked him, really?
I don't know.
I'll tell you
he looks like he could get in trouble.
Okay.
Like a lot of trouble.
I'll tell you who he is.
Yeah.
He's Gerard Piqué.
Piqué?
Gerard Piqué. Yes.
Oh, the guy from Beverly Hills?
Not at all.
No.
He's a former professional soccer player. He's from Spain.
Okay.
And he's Shakira's ex-husband. Oh. And they had a really bad breakup, and she wrote this whole song about him. All right. And they were married for 12 years. They have a kid together. And it was kind of in the news because she wrote this really spicy song about him, saying that I'm too good for you, and that's why you're with someone just like you, because he just went Instagram official with somebody 2 weeks after they broke up. And nobody really knows exactly what happened. A lot of speculation on cheating and whatnot. But a big thing, like, in their relations, this is what I get when I look at him, is I feel like he's an insecure guy. Like, it's funny because he's like this soccer player, professional athlete. You think he has a lot of ego strength or whatever. I don't feel like he has that at all. I feel like he's kind of a little misogynistic. I feel like he's very much like, hey, you're not a superstar. When you're home, you're making my sandwiches in the kitchen or something like that. And I feel like I think he tried to make her feel not awesome about herself all the time. Shakira's yellow purple. She's a very fierce, independent woman. She's actually in a lot of trouble right now, though,
Okay.
like with money.
Well, what's his colors?
So he's interesting because I see this, like in this picture that I sent you, it's a lot of weird blue. He's green, and he's like green with blue, but the blue's like way too strong. And some other pictures I'll see him, there's like an inauthentic red. So to me, I feel like there's a lot of insecurity on him that he's not admitting. So he acts out by projecting it on other people as they're victimizing him or something like that. And I feel like he needs to constantly have sources of his ego being when you're a professional athlete like him and you have these issues, somebody's got to replace the stadium. And I feel like unless you get therapy and help yourself or something, like somebody has to replace the stadium.
Was he like a famous player?
I don't know soccer. I don't know. But I feel like he walked out of that, and it's hard to be married to Shakira. I mean, she's like flipping amazing. You know what I mean? And so, and so she was going through this money stuff, and I think she's facing like a lot of issues in Spain right now and stuff with money. Anyways, he's just like, it's bad.
Yeah, look.
I just feel like he's not nice. That's what I feel like.
I mean, look,
to her. I
am not playing
Team Shakira.
Paul Anka with any of these four people. I don't know where you got these four people from, but yeah, none of them look good.
I didn't think you know any of them.
No, I don't. I only recognize the one guy.
I love it. So out of all of them, like, pick one to marry. Go.
Oh my God.
You're online dating.
All right.
Are you going?
I'm going with the eye candy, and Sam. Yeah,
me too.
I'm going eye candy.
If I had to pick one of these, it's Sam.
Yeah, me too.
100%. Because I feel like he's really nice.
Yeah,
and
I'm going Sam, empathy lady. This guy, and then the surfing
and then
Mormon.
Cody's the last one. Yeah, I think Cody's got to be the last one.
He looks bad. I don't think I could handle even like a minute with that man. Like before I would have to like just run out of there.
Well, if you cough, he runs away though.
Oh yeah, okay. That's what I would do. All right. All right, we have 2 ads coming up, and then when we get back, you're going to give psychic tips for reading pictures while online dating.
Hey, Scotty, what do you want for dinner tonight?
Wild grain.
Yeah.
Favorite. Love every single thing about it.
You do.
I mean, the croissants, the pasta, everything is my absolute. Oh my God, the sourdough bread. It's the best. I love it.
He loves it because, I'm trying to save some money on takeout this year. I still want to enjoy delicious food, but eat healthy. And here's the solution for my family that'll probably be a solution for you guys too. Wild Grain. Wild Grain is the first ever bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, fresh pastas, and artisanal pastries. Unlike typical supermarket bread, Wild Grain uses a slow fermentation process that's easier on your belly, lower in sugar, and rich in nutrients and antioxidants. Every item bakes from frozen in 25 minutes or less. Plus, for every new member, Wild Grain donates 6 meals to the Greater Boston Food Bank, so you can eat good and do good all at the same time. To kick off the year, Wild Grain is offering delicious products such as an ancient grain sourdough loaf and fresh artisan fettuccine pasta. All you have to do is sign up at wildgrain.com/KYA and choose which type of box you want to receive and how often. It's easy to reschedule, skip, or cancel. Plus, for a limited time, you can get $30 off the first box plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/KYA to start your subscription. You heard me. Free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box when you go to wildgrain.com/KYA. That's wildgrain.com/KYA, or you can use promo code KYA at checkout. I kind of did a pre-New Year's resolution, and I've been using Waze products for quite a while, but their hair serum in particular, I've been getting a lot more consistent with, and it's been making such a difference. My teenage daughter keeps mentioning how much fuller my hair looks and how great it looks since I've been using it. And then I couldn't find it. I'm like, where'd it go? You know, because I like to put it on at night. And then I go into her room and there it is. She stole it from me. So what did I do? I just got her own. Okay. So, you know, if you're feeling kind of flaky or your hair's looking dull, Way has a product for all your hair care goals. Like I said, I have been using Way products for a while now. My own hair care routine, I like to do the hair serum at night. That's what I like to do. And it just, after a long day of wearing different hairstyles or styling or ponytails or things like that, it just really makes my scalp feel nurtured. The scalp serum balances and it hydrates the scalp. It's a daily scalp serum, and it can be used day or night with wet or dry hair. I've done it on both. It just soothes irritation and keeps your hair stronger and fuller through a healthy, hydrated, balanced scalp. It's kind of like a garden. You know what I mean? If you don't take care of the soil, the plants can't grow. So that's what I've been doing to my scalp, and you can do that for you as well. So the way to healthy hair starts here. Go to TheWay, TheWayai.com/Aura for $15 off your entire purchase. That's TheWay, TheWayai.com/Aura. All right, today we're going to talk about my favorite thing to do, which is reading energy from pictures. What is reading energy from pictures? Well, when somebody takes a picture, they emit energy. Okay? And you're reading that energy whether you know it or not. I mean, think about the times that you've scrolled LinkedIn, or you've thought about who your next boss is going to be and you're looking at their picture, or you're looking at, okay, what doctor do I want to pick? Or you're kind of looking at old pictures of somebody that you used to know and be like, oh, I wonder what's going on with them. Like, you're doing it. And I can tell you how to level it up so that you're doing it in a way that actually brings you information that's intuitive, not judgmental. Because that's the big thing. I'm going to talk about that. So I'd like to center it, since we're so close to Valentine's Day, around dating apps. Oh my gosh. How many times do I see you guys putting up the absolute wrong pictures of yourself that are going to attract the people that you don't want? And I can tell you, I'm going to do that. Some energetic tips for posting photos, and also some energetic tips for reading photos. So you can separate the lies and the BS and the nonsense and the chameleon greens, I call them, and the people that just want to live on the dating app and never get off it. Like, you can feel that from their photo. I'm going to tell you all that stuff. But honestly, it's just reading pictures as energy. The Amish believe that some of them don't like their pictures taken. I grew up really close to Amish country, and it was just known among us, like, you don't take pictures of them. That's rude. Why? Because they felt like when you took a picture, a piece of their soul was taken away and stored in that picture. There's always a little bit of truth to these things. I mean, that's what they believe, that's true to them. But like, I feel that, like, when a picture is taken of you, there's a piece of you that goes into that. And you can read that piece of somebody. And when I do readings, like, you guys will send me different pictures from different times in your life, and I can feel that. You know, I see it in your aura, but I can also feel it. Or you might give me a picture of, like, when you just get off work versus when you've been home all weekend. I mean, there's a difference in your vibe, in your energy. And that can just tell you so much. And you're all able to read that too. In my book, The Psychic Workbook, I just wrote about this because I want to teach you how to read photos. We're going to talk about it in dating apps. Just based on a picture, we're going out there and we're dating, based on photos. And even if you're not on there, like, I'm not on there, even if you're not on there, like, people who are, and you see them flounder and you see them struggle. And I think it's a fun way. It's actually kind of a very immersive way to talk about reading pictures or reading energy from pictures. So that's why I wanted to center it around that today. Anywho. Okay, so what happens when we go into this dating world of all these photos where you're like, swipe right, swipe left, You get into a different mindset. It's kind of instinctual. You get into this normally, like, when you're walking around, you don't do that. You're like, no, yes, no. Like, you don't usually do that. But when you're on these apps, it's kind of like, yeah, it's like encouraged. They encourage you, the whole context of it, to be kind of ruthless. This is both good and bad. It's good because a lot of us empath auras especially always think, oh my God, I'm so mean. I can't not let, and we can get fooled by things a little bit, but it can limit our good senses. And it's bad because we can get a little judgmental sometimes based on things that we really shouldn't base our choices on. So we have to learn how to first separate cold reading from energy reading. Cold reading is not the same as energy reading. So cold reading are like cues, social cues, clothing, appearance, stereotypes, based on gender, race, or age. If they're wearing a designer or not, socioeconomic stereotyping. My one friend, she's always on apps, and I'm like, here, I'm just going to give you just like a rule that'll probably work 80% of the time. No polarized glasses. If they have one flippin' selfie where they're like doing the polarized glasses, I'm like, they're out. For her. Maybe for someone else, that's a great dude. For you, no, it's not. And I think like this is a big joke. Like people say, oh, the guys with the fish, or the guy with the puppy. It's like, come on. So that's cold reading, and that can work. Like you can kind of use that, but it really is limiting to you in some ways. So we're looking more for the energy read. Now I'm going to get specific about this as we go on, but I just want to point out that there is a difference. In an energy read, you're going to be getting feelings inside, a clairsentience. That's clear feeling. A lot of you have this ability. Actually, we all have this ability. Some can scratch it a little closer to the surface than others, but we all have it. So it's kind of getting used to being in the space of how does this person make me feel when I look at their picture, and getting in touch with that kind of feeling or that energy when you look at their photos. And the more that you're in touch with your own feelings, this is just how it works to be psychic in general, the better you're going to be at this. So just being like, oh, how does this, and not doubting it. So our eyes are great, and our brain is great, but those can be hijacked by your ego really easily. Who's cute, who's not, that's my type, that's not my type. Also the cold reading stuff, like, oh, he looks this, he looks that, she looks this. We're going from the heart. How does this person make us feel? Like the whole picture. And we don't just do this when we date. I just wanted to focus on this for this episode because it's such an immersive way to explain it. But, think about when you're scrolling, who I want to work with as a graphic designer. Let me go to their Instagram. Let me look at their social media. When you go to LinkedIn, let's work. Do I want to work with this person? So you're doing it all the time. And you can, like I said, you can get better at it. So for the purposes of today, like I said, we're going to talk about online dating. So let's talk about you, what you can do. And if you're not online dating, think about this just for social media or your business or anything that you're doing. We need to pick better pictures, people. Okay. And I'm not talking about hair and makeup and lighting and this and that. Of course, those things are important to get a good lighting. Okay. But it's more about the way I see things is a photo which really shows you. All right. So, for example, when I do readings, and I'm going to sound like the Grinchiest Grinch, I hate wedding photos. Yeah, I'll say it. I hate them. And I'll tell you why. You look gorgeous that day. Okay. You look great. Everyone looks great. But your energy is so muted. It's not you. It's like your well-behaved version of yourself, or the version of you're stressed that day, or you're trying to be something, or whatever's on your mind. Like, you look great, but there's a wall between your energy and you. So when you put out pictures that have that kind of wall, what happens is you're going to get people who have a wall and love walls and want you to have a wall. You're going to get people that don't want real relationships. Yeah. This is kind of like the number one thing I want. And this could be like stock photos of you, or if you had to get like, I don't know, I was in real estate picture, so it's my real estate photo, or this is my my work photo really turned out great this year, so I'm going to use it in my, Hinge profile. No, because anytime you're taking a photo and it's something where like, oh, I have to project this image for this, or I have to project this image for that. What's happening is you're actually making a bit of a moat, a valley between you and who you really are. So like, this is the image I project out here, and this is who I really am back here. But I'm just giving you who I project. So whoever you're projecting, whatever version of you that is, you're going to get the like energy. So it could be shallow or just on your best behavior version, or the version that like you can keep up only for a certain amount of time before you dump it. And then that's going to attract like energy in a partner. So you don't want that. I hope that makes sense. Just because your hair was all did and you looked cute for your sister's wedding does not mean that's the photo to give. Oh, here's another one. Another pet peeve. Cropping out yourself in cropped photos. So let's say it was like, oh, I have the best picture. Me and my girlfriends were on the best vacation ever, and we're all like next to each other with our arms over each other, and somebody took a picture. I'll just crop out my head from all my girlfriends. So it's kind of like the cropped photo. And I can't stand when I see cropped photos in dating profiles, because I'm like, no, because and I don't like to get them either in readings. People send me like crop photos of themselves. It's the same thing. There's a buffer between there's like a choppy energy. Like I can't get to you as easy. I really hope this makes sense. And then what happens is some people want the superficial version of you because they are superficial. So if you keep presenting like these superficial versions of yourself, you're going to get superficial people. And sometimes like when you're with your girlfriends or you're with your friends, or it's like a cropped photo of you, but you look good, you're getting their energy on top of you, or you're getting the role you play in that group. So let's say you're in that same photo with your friends, but you're always like the mommy to that group. Like you're the one that's like, okay, don't drink too much. I'm driving. You're the one getting the reservations for the table. You're like, okay, you're going to find somebody that wants that version of you, and only that version of you. So kind of the roles that you play with the people that you've cropped yourself out of the photo with, you're going to kind of project that to somebody. I swear, this is how it works. This is how it works for me. And listen, I don't give a lot of these people on these dating apps like a ton of credit that they're mindfully knowing this. But we're all instinctual. We're all animals. We all have this ability. And just because somebody can't put words to it. So if you're finding yourself a pattern, is what I'm trying to say, is take a step back and be like, well, what pictures am I putting out there? And how does that relate to who I've been attracting? Now, what's the most you version of you? Is it you in bed with 3 cats on top of you, as it would be my picture? Sure. Do you want to put that on your dating app? Probably not. But I'm sure we can find an in-between thing that works and then also projects you as you actually are. Okay. So you do kind of want to wear your heart on your sleeve a little bit in a picture. And it's okay to show your truest self and trust and just trust that. Trust that, like, this is what I look like. This is a really nice picture of me on a really great day. Maybe my hair wasn't perfect, but, I was happy. So that's what I get. Like, when I get pictures of you guys in readings, oh my gosh, like the one where you've like kind of no makeup on, but you're on a hike and you're just like, it's like, oh, you should see how radiantly beautiful you are. Already, you all are radiantly beautiful, but your energy projecting is so beautiful and it's so pure. And you know what it is? It's connecting to me. And you know what that's going to do? That's going to scare off the people that don't want real connections. When you put a picture like that up on one of these dating websites, what's going to happen is people who are really stressed out by that intimate connection, that feeling, oh my gosh, like they're going to feel it and they're going to go, no, not you. And we want them to say, no, not you. Because we're sick of inauthentic people with fluffy vibes that can't handle who we really are. So just think about that. What am I projecting? All right. So that's that. Oh, filters, please. Oh my gosh. Filters, sunglasses. No, same thing with the buffer thing. In a nutshell, if you want to stop attracting people who are superficial, who just want to say they're on a date, who just are on here because they think they want a relationship, but they're not wanting a relationship, people who are just in it for the one night stand or something like that, get rid of the buffers. So that's anything that takes your energy and chops it in half before they receive it. Okay. I put that here too. I have my notes. So it's like choosing photos, great mood. It doesn't even have to be the best mood ever. It's just kind of like, man, that feels like me, like that, alone. And think about taking a picture just for the purpose of whatever you're taking it for. So if you're on the dating app, think about having your friend or you or whatever, just take a picture of yourself. Actually, I would recommend that, because even sometimes the person taking the photo can influence your photo a bit. So it depends on how close you are to the friend or whatever. But if you're unsure, take a picture of yourself and take it just for the purpose with the intention of what you want. I want an authentic connection with somebody, unconditional love, snap a selfie. Here we go. That's what I want. And I put that in that photo. I put it in that photo. And they're going to feel it. It's going to freak out the people that you don't want anyways. And attract the people that you do. All right. So yeah, like same thing like job hunting, okay? Like when you take that photo, maybe it's a different kind of photo, but you put the same intention into it. Like, I want a job where I'm valued, all right? That's what I'm taking that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm projecting as I take this photo. I want a job where I'm valued. Okay, here I am. All right. Or it's your business and you're posting for Instagram or Etsy or whatever you're doing. Here's a picture of me and I'm ready to support myself in this medium. Let's go. So put your intention into a photo when you're taking it. Discrepancies in photos mean discrepancy between your real life and the ones that you're projecting online. So just be real. Be you. Otherwise, you wonder, people will just feel, like I said, that valley between you and what you want. So it's like projecting who you think you need to be versus who you actually are. So many times, because I go on, I try not to do this on my Instagram, but I'll catch myself every once in a while. So many times, because I do all these podcasts with different influencers and stuff like that, I'll look at their Instagram before, and then I see them on the web camera to do the podcast with them. And it's like, oh man, like you put yourself so different online versus who you actually are. And that whenever I see that, there's something that's not working for them in their own career or their own brand or how they're trying to match things up. The people that are exactly how you see them online and exactly how you see them in person, those are the people where it all is cohesive and it meshes. Alrighty. And we are taught to put our best foot forward in our society, but that doesn't mean a false foot. Okay, just your best foot. A lot of us were taught to fake it, to fake a vibe. And this can have a lot to do with how you were brought up. Some of us were brought up, hey, everything's fine, and you better go with that no matter what. And so you're taught that it's not just there's a difference between like being not messy, energetically responsible, and then faking it. There is a difference between those two things. But some of us, the way we were raised, we were taught to fake it. And for you, that's normal. And I see this in a lot of like children, of parents of addicts. Okay, it's like, nope, everything's great. We're the perfect family. Everything's totally normal. That kind of stuff. And you were taught to fake it. So now you think faking it's normal. So that's like a whole other issue. But if that's coming across in your photos, then you're going to attract somebody that wants you to fake it because they need you to fake reality for them. Now, let's go the opposite way. Let's talk about people who reading somebody else's picture. So those are all tips for posting your own pictures for authenticity. Now let's talk about how to read other people's photos. Okay, first thing, what do we worry about? Catfishing. Okay, we totally worry about catfishing. All right, so what does a catfished photo feel like? I had a friend and she sent me this photo before she went on a date. She's like, what do you think of him? And I said, it doesn't feel like a real photo to me. Now, what does it mean when something doesn't feel like a real photo? it's something in here. And I try to like put words to articulate things so like you can understand it yourself too. And for me, it felt the same as when I look at a stock photo. Kind of vanilla without any passion. Like they're doing the action, but I'm not, again, remember being in touch with your feelings. I'm not feeling anything off of it. And it feels disconnected. It just feels empty, like a void. She's like, yeah, but he's so hot. And it's like, okay, go have fun. So she goes and meets him. And I get this text. He looks nothing like his photo. And because she's the type that's just going to like tell somebody that. She's like, hey, I just noticed, like, this photo doesn't look like you that I'm looking at right now in reality. And he's like, oh, yeah, look at this photo editing app. And he just admitted that he edits all his photos to look completely different. Now, to him, he thought that was normal and not weird. So, yeah, how we do one thing, we do everything, right? So what else in his life is he fronting about? Like, what else in his life does he think faking is normal as long as we all pretend it's real? It was weird, so that didn't work out. He got real angry about her, too. It was like a weird date for her. If you're easily swayed by good looks, this can really bait you. So sometimes I've mentioned this before. Some of you have the list. It's your ego's trick of keeping you single, okay? So it's kind of like, it can get a little superficial, and that's how your ego just keeps you, the ego likes to keep you the same because the same means, no change, and no change means survival. I mean, I've been through this. And if you're kind of like got the list going on, like, oh, he's got to have the right shoes. What does he drive? What's he do? What does his face look like? Does he look like Chris Evans? If he looks like Chris Evans, we're good. Like that kind of thing. We got to take a step back and we got to, again, tune in with how somebody makes us feel. And that can help you avoid a lot of things, but especially catfishing. Number 2, love bombing. Have you been on a dating app and all of a sudden, like 3 messages in, somebody tells you they want to have babies with you? Okay, here's the thing with love bombing. Some people just like online dating. They just like the meet and greet and DM, maybe a date, maybe two. They meet online, they talk, they love bomb you in your DMs. And then in person, it's like, oh, okay. And it might be good. It might be not. But then they'll always like ditch you and then start over with somebody else. They're like, this is the cycle that they're on. They're like a fruit fly. It's like a 24-hour life cycle, except they're on these dating apps. And this is why everybody hates dating apps, because of these people. So anyways, here's the deal with love bombing, like in general, even if it's in person. I've done an episode on love bombing before. There's 2 things going on. Sometimes the person just wants to feel in love. They just want to feel love. They believe themselves. Like all the things they're saying to you, they really want that. But they are so inept at creating that connection in themselves to create that love or that connection to self. They create it in you. And this is why usually empath auras get affected by love bombers. They create it in you. So they'll put all this in you, and then they can kind of like suck off of it as you believe in it. So the more you believe, like, oh my gosh, well, he says this. Oh yeah, we're moving forward. Dude, he said this. He must really like me. So I must really like him too. Like it snowballs, and they're just feeding off of you as you take it all in, and you're helping them create this kind of monster of a false reality. And then the second you're like, hey, wait, they're gone. Bye. The second you're like, you said, I thought we were moving in. Bye. The second you're like, reality, you're like, where'd you go? They just poof and disappear. But you can notice this in your DMs or in online dating. It's just somebody who's it feels like somebody's trying to make you feel something. So it feels like you're being fed energy or fed information, or somebody's trying to say something and it feels a little regurgitated, almost like it's from a movie or something. Like if something feels regurgitated or cliche, or you're like, oh, like sometimes information when I hear it feels used. I'm like, it's kind of like somebody trying to, like when you get regifted something and it was a flippin' regift. You're like, that was a regift. I know you didn't buy that candle for me. That's what it feels like when they tell you these things. It's that same feeling, but with words. You'll get better at picking it out. And love bombers tend to just kind of like, they do the more, and back to the whole, as you post a more intimately energetic photo of yourself, the less likely, because they know you'll catch on to them quicker. So they subconsciously avoid you. Number 3, here's my big tip. I talk about this again in the psychic workbook. With reading pictures, does the picture remind you of someone? Have you ever seen a picture of somebody and they're like, oh my God, that looks like my cousin, or that looks like my old boyfriend, or that looks like my neighbor? If somebody like immediately is like, it's an uncanny resemblance, they probably, whatever that if you could like, I guess, extract the main theme out of whoever you think that, they remind you of, that's the same thing with them. For example, I had a reading. I mean, I've had a lot of these. That's like one of my things. It's like one of my tips. If somebody reminds you of somebody, they're that person, basically. The same common themes, parallels. I had this reading. It was so weird. This girl sent me a picture of her new boyfriend. He looked just like my little cousin. I haven't seen this cousin in like a long time. He lives in Buffalo. And I'm like, does he have 2 sisters? I explained that family's situation to a T back to her. And she was like, yes, all of it. And it was the same thing as my cousin's life, because that is a psychic tip. If somebody reminds you of somebody like in an uncanny way, it's the same. It's kind of like they have the same thing going on. That could be good. That could be bad. For her, it was good. This is a big one. You ever read something and your brain shuts down? Oh, yeah. Okay. I get, like when Kanye West, like, would write things, like, my brain gets fuzzy. Okay? Like waves. Because it's BS. It's not real. It's not in reality. Like, there's something wrong here. If you're reading what somebody is writing to you and you feel, or you're reading their profile description or something, and all of a sudden, like, your brain just turns off, or you can't even finish the sentence, like, you lose focus. That is Spirit's way of being like, he is BS. Move along. This person believes what they're saying, but it's nonsense. Move along. And that's a big tell. All right. So if you're reading something and you lose focus, it's a tiny little thing, but I'm telling you, it makes all the difference. It's not mean to trust your gut. This is my final one. The more psychic you get, the more you're going to know this. There are feelings which you will have, which will become a lot clearer to you. You'll be able to easily differentiate between judgment, cold reading, and intuition. That'll be easy for you the more you practice with this. And you're going to have to differentiate between all that stuff in your gut feelings. And, you really have to, you were given this gift of having gut intuitive feelings. And society loves to tell you that you're crazy for listening to it. And your ego loves to cover it up with like superficial stuff and make you think that those are your intuitive thoughts, and they're not. So once you figure all that out, which just comes from these tips and practicing, let me tell you something. You'll see that it's not mean to trust your gut feelings. I guess like the immediate thing I could tell you is it hurts when you don't listen, or you feel like you're betraying yourself when you don't listen. Or if you're going out to meet that guy that you're like, is that a catfish? I'll go anyways because logically, your brain you're going to be hearing those messages over and over and over on repeat. So it's kind of like, look back to a time when something like that happened and you were like, I should have trusted my gut. I knew that already. And see how that feels. Use your errors, your past mistakes as huge teachers. Because in that feeling, you'll be able to see like, how does correct feel? Because your gut is correct. Just because it doesn't have evidence yet to back it up, your gut's correct. Like we're the only species that doesn't trust it. Because we feel silly if we mess up or something. The other thing is, first impressions, they matter. When you meet somebody or you first get a DM from somebody or something, go back to your knee-jerk reaction about them, like, ugh, or, oh, or okay. Go back to that, because first impressions, that's before your ego could come in and tell you that whatever your intuition just said is wrong. Remember, your ego is not the first voice. Your ego is the loudest voice. Your intuition is the first voice. And then it's also kind of like mildly nagging afterwards if you're not listening to it. Yeah, I have homework for you. All right, we got homework. I want you to get your best selfie together. Take it, snap it, put an intention into it. It could be anything. It could be love. It could be your business. It could just be like, I don't know, just me. Get that together. Put that next to whatever you think is your best, other photo you've been using. Maybe it's a stock photo. Maybe it's it's your school photo. Maybe it's a cropped photo. Whatever. Maybe it's the bridesmaid photo. Okay. Put it next to it. Then you've been using, maybe, perhaps. Put them side by side. And we can go over to the Mystic Michaela Spiritual Family Facebook page if you want to do this on there, if you feel comfortable doing it. If you don't, that's fine, because we can do it for each other over there. If you don't, that's fine. But let's go and ask, take those two photos and ask somebody you really love and who really loves you and somebody who you really trust, which one's more me and why? And really listen to what they have to say. Because I bet they're going to pick the one that you took. And they're going to say how beautiful you are, and how that's so you, and how that picture makes them feel so happy inside, and that's the you they love and know. And let's see how that works out for us. Hey, Scotty.
Hey, guys.
So do you understand the homework?
Yeah, of course. That makes total sense.
Okay, so you're going to take a picture.
Okay.
All right, so you're going to take a picture of yourself that you normally use.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I know the one that you use on your LinkedIn. It's like you're by a TV camera.
Yeah.
Although you are really happy in that photo.
Yeah, but people think I'm in the TV world.
Yeah. I know, that's why you use it. That's funny. Well, anyway, so take a picture that you think, all right, I always use this picture. I'm going to take this one.
Yeah.
And then take one of yourself, just for the purposes of creating a photo with an intention behind it. Okay. So as you take the selfie, you're saying something that is important to you and kind of projecting that energy into the photo. And then we're going to put them side by side on the thread in the MMSF on the Facebook page. And then people will just say okay. I like, this one I feel is more you than that one, or maybe not. Who knows?
I got this one. I'm wearing this red and white flannel shirt, and I got my hat's on backwards and it's blue.
Okay.
I was going to use that picture.
Yeah, you've been doing more like the Luke from Gilmore Girls look.
Who's what? No.
I think.
No.
This is overtime.
All right, I'll call it overtime. Overtime.
What's overtime? It means you can go.
That means if you stay, it's on you.
It's on you.
So no matter what we say.
We don't know what we're going to say.
Right. If I said something bad in the first segment, that was on me.
You can DM them.
I apologize. I did call the guy a surfer, mountain biking man or something, Mormon man or whatever. That's on me. I understand that. But now, you're still listening. You could turn it off. It's on you.
It's on you
now.
Okay,
overtime. What do we got? What are coming up with overtime?
Well, okay. I know so lately you've been in, I want to say your best vibe ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've been watching Gilmore Girls non-stop.
With Brie, not by myself.
Yeah.
Okay, not alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's interesting because Brie's just been watching it, and I've seen it and stuff like that, but we're on the last season.
Yes.
And you are invested. I mean, you're constantly talking about Gilmore Girls. You say you don't like it. I feel like at this point you're you do love it because you're always talking about it. You're very invested in the characers. And you're starting to dress like Luke.
Yeah. Well, I started mid-season 5 with the show. I've watched all of season 6. I'm about halfway through season 7. I'm up to when the grandpa gets a heart attack.
Right.
He's okay. People, he's okay.
Okay. I don't know if that's a spoiler.
Yeah, it's a spoiler.
10 years later.
Well, it's 10 years later, so you could say
or maybe more.
I do
15.
find myself talking a little bit like Luke.
All the time.
I kind of ask you guys what you want for
Scott,
breakfast a lot.
You started dressing like Luke. Right now you're in a flannel shirt. You're wearing a backwards baseball cap. It's a little weird.
And it's blue. Where's that blue one? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had lobster, though.
And
Luke's
you
never
notice what he's wearing all the time. You're like, why is he wearing that different? Or
he always wears a green jacket.
But sometimes he'll wear a different hat, and then you're like, what is that hat? And you're trying to figure out what it is.
I was upset because in the beginning of season 7, the first half, they gave him 2 lines an episode. One time he was reduced to like screaming at a town meeting, and that really upset me. Okay.
You want more Luke lines.
All right. So, well, let me think. Since we're doing the dating thing, if I was making like a dating profile right now, what would be in there, would you say?
You?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it'd be like you with the podcast. I can't envision you away from the podcast, but I feel, okay. Oh, no. And then the other thing is, because I feel like you're morphing into a teen girl.
Okay, so my profile would be a morphing into a teen girl?
No, the other day, so there's this place called Crumble Cookies, all right? And we have one near us, and if you don't know what it is, I don't know how to explain this to you, except it's a store that has cookies, and every week there's a different batch of cookies, like different recipes. And people flock there to try the recipes, the different cookies that week. So it was like 9 p.m. because they're open late.
They're open late, yeah.
Which is kind of like a cool feature.
Yeah.
But you and Bree and Abby and I, we're like, all right, let's go to Crumble. It was like on a whim. It was like, and everyone was
it was a school night. It was
a school night. Everybody was like so high vibe and like super happy about it.
Yeah.
And Abby and I stay in the car, and you and Bree literally go together, but you're frolicking. I'm not joking. And then you go in, you come out, you're holding like the pink box. I see you both stop.
Okay.
Take like a selfie. And then, like, you're looking at it. It's like a silent film, like a vaudeville act or something. And then you're both like, no, let's try it again. And then you, like, did it. And then, like, you're both, like the smiles and stuff.
Okay.
And you come back and, like, it was your Be Real. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so you have
Be Real.
So you're watching Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, watching
You're
Gilmore
getting
Girls.
the crumble cookies.
Yeah.
You're on trend with the crumble cookie flavors. You're taking Be Reals. And the kids found out that your favorite album your favorite Taylor Swift song is Getaway Car. Stop. And that's true. Stop. And I heard that, and they said that you admitted it, and that's your thing.
So basically you're saying I'm turning into a teen girl. I mean, that's not nice. I mean, that's What happened with first of all?
And that your favorite album is Reputation.
Okay, first of all, I don't even know what that album is. I don't even know who Taylor Swift is.
Okay.
If you put the
I think you're morphing into a teenage girl, but it's your best vibe ever. It's your best vibe ever.
If you would have put Taylor Swift as one of the pictures, I wouldn't have known that one. I would be like, I don't know who this is.
You know who that is.
I'd be like, who is this like yellow,
but you know
person?
all the lyrics to Getaway Car.
Okay. And I've been using like a satin pillow.
Oh, that's right. We got you satin pillowcase.
I don't know why I'm like.
And you love it.
Yeah. Okay.
You got it's a silk one.
Look, I'll defend the crumble cookie. Look, first of all, crumble cookie, I don't get it.
You're using whey products too.
Okay. It's true.
It's in your shower.
I don't know what's going on. I need help. Paul Anka, I need help.
You spent a lot of time at Sephora the other day, like really studying the creams.
I did. I know like the elephant bronzer is like really hard to get. Bree like wants this elephant bronzer for $700 or something, but really hard to get. Really hard to get. I even asked the girl at the counter, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's our hardest to get." And I'm like, I know. I've been going all over for it. We had a whole conversation about it.
It's the Drunk Elephant. Bronzy Sunshine Drops or something. I don't know.
I've asked like
you're like, excuse me, are they in the back? You're like one of those moms that thinks everything's in the back.
Okay.
Is it in the back?
No, she told me.
No, sir. In the tiny broom closet we have, there's nothing in there.
Look, I thought maybe there might be one back there.
Is there a sample I can purchase for half off? That's you at Sephora.
You know how many times I've been insulted in this overtime?
You learned all about Sephora because we went in there.
Okay.
And then you were like, what is happening? Because women were truly doing their makeup and removing their makeup.
No, I know. It was a scene in Boca Raton.
You got a little creeped out.
Sephora, yeah. I couldn't believe people were just like right in front of me, like I didn't exist.
Right.
We're like taking makeup off. One of them even actually handed me like the paper that they removed it from and said, "Can you throw this out?" I'm like, I don't work here. Do you think I work
here? True. Like the whole place is filled with women taking off their makeup and like trying new makeup on.
Yeah.
And you're like, ew.
What is going on here? I don't need to see all this stuff. I mean.
Yet you're interested.
Sure. So, crumble cookie, Be Reals, Gilmore Girls, satin pillows.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Oh, and Taylor Swift.
And Taylor Swift. Right. You have a favorite Taylor Swift album and song.
Right. Okay. Well,
it's your best vibe ever. So I guess I would take a picture of you. That B-reel that you took with Bree would be a great picture because you look so flippin' happy with that pink box. And just you should have seen your smile. It was like true joy.
No, all right. And I know this overtime's getting long here, but I'm just going to say.
It's long overtime.
You're right. That is a little strange for me because I was going to go on a rant about crumble cookies.
Yeah.
Because it's like $25 for a box of 6 cookies. 6 cookies for $25.
That's true.
It's crazy. So you would think I would come out of the store in a bad mood.
Right.
But, yeah, no, I came out and I don't know. At that exact moment, the B-reel went off and Bree's like, let's do the B-reel. And I'm like, and we have Gilmore Girls after when we get home to eat the cookies. And it was,
it was just like, oh my God.
And it was just like,
my life is amazing.
It was like euphoria. It was euphoria.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
all right.
If I could put, it was Abby and I were watching you guys walk out of Crumble like that. And I don't know, I can't explain it. I wish I had the wherewithal to film it because it was the happiest I've ever seen you look. Like if I could put music to it,
happier.
It would have been like an Oscar-winning short. Like you guys were so happy, and it was silent. Like it was just like,
All right. Well, okay.
That was a good vibe for you. That would be a great picture, like to read, because they'd be like, "Wow, this guy's really like." If you read that picture, like this guy's great.
So what you're saying right now is my aura is that of a teen girl.
That's nice that you're a girl dad and you're morphing into their interests.
Okay.
I think that's sweet.
All right.
You know, you can't beat them, join them. All right. This podcast is for you and about you. Thanks so much for spending some time with us today.